Hello, come by and welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. In this video, we're going to be doing a tier list of Series 4 and 5 cards. So we're going to just do each bit by bit, so each tier. Instead of doing one by one, because I didn't really want to be talking for over an hour. So I thought I'd streamline this and do it a little bit. So the tiers are going to have, you got Kang at the bottom, because, you know, Kang deserves his own tier for how terrible that card is. We're going to have B, which is average and limited. It's going to be like cards that aren't really super flexible. You don't mean these cards are trash. We'll talk about each card quickly as I go through it. Then we're going to have A, strong and flexible. They're going to be ones that are good cards and can be played in a lot of different types of decks. And then we're going to have S tier, which like defines decks. So pretty much B and A are going to have most of the card, with S having a few cards. I have some bias towards flexibility instead of like raw strength. Like there's cards that are really strong, but like they're only good in certain decks, right? So I put them down a little bit because I like to play lots of different decks. Anyways, let's get into the B tier here. Wait, have I missed a card? I have. Okay, Ajax should probably be in here because it's limited, but it's a strong card. So yeah, we'll start with Ajax since I just dragged it in here. So Ajax is one of these ones that's ridiculously strong. It's probably very close to being in A, but it's not flexible, right? It's a strong card, but only in its type of deck. Like I said, people are going to be upset with the list and how I rate stuff, but I rate flexibility over everything. So let's get into it. So Ghost Spider, strong enough card in move, right? Outside of move, you're not playing it. Same with Beta Ray Bill, right? Decent enough card in 4 lists, but it's not great. Null again. Strong card, but in destroy. It's not even, I wouldn't even say it's deck defining, right? You rarely, like, Null's just his win more card. Man Thing, again, pretty decent card, but it's limited into the type of decks he can play, right? It goes in like an Ajax deck and, a little Toxic, but if you're playing a Toxic, you're probably playing the Ajax, it's limited. Mobius is a card that I wanted to put in A, but it just feels awkward right now. I don't know what it is. It's just the card that I haven't played in months because I just can't fit it in anywhere. So it had to go in B because it's just me. Pretty bad card, right? Just gets outshined by Scorn, right? Scorn's just a better one if you're gonna play it. This card, MODOK shouldn't be in here. Ignore MODOK. That's a deck defining card. I don't know why MODOK's in here. I must have clicked over. Daken, you almost play it in A because you can play it in Surfer stuff, right? But it just feels awkward, right? There's better cards to play in Discard and in Surfer, so there's a little high. Havoc is a card that I kind of wish was good, but just isn't, right? Losing 1 energy is just, it costs you too much, right? It's too hard. Lady Deathstrike, pretty decent destroy card, but kind of limited in the fact that it's like if it was a 4/6, maybe it'd be a bit more better, right? If it's just a 4. A 5 is just such an awkward number and it doesn't do enough consistently to be a good card. Hercules, garbage. And right, you can get some using move, but pretty bad. King Eitri, I probably think it's the second worst card of the year because it's just not flexible at all. You can put it in like Thanos, I guess, but why? And obviously it goes in the 4 lists and Arashim, but it's taking up a slot of a good card, so it's just, I just don't rate it at all. Sasquatch, almost went in A, but it's like limited in the type of deck, so you can kind of put it in bounce, but it's a strong card in those bounce decks. It's just not exactly that flexible. Selene, pretty garbage card. Cool effect, just not strong enough most of the time, right? Silk used to be one of my favorite cards. I love the randomness move, but she rarely sees any play. She can fit into like a Silky Smooth list. Yeah. Supergiant's such a cool card. Just outshined by other 4-drops. Maybe if she got one more power to go with a 4-6 power curve that everyone else has got right now at 4-drop, you'd see a little bit more play, like a combo breaker. But she's underpowered, and the effect can just be a little annoying and awkward at times, right? X23, very strong card, but I wouldn't put it like, it was close to being up in S with deck defining, but you can just play Destroy without it. It just makes Destroy a lot better, but it's not flexible enough to go in A, so she unfortunately had to go in B. Anti-Venom, honestly, I remember when they posted the patch notes for changing Anti-Venom, and I remember a lot of the content creators in the Discord were talking about it and being upset that it got extra power, but it was a strong card. But honestly, since he made that change, the card just disappeared from every deck, right? Like, it still find a place in its decks, right? Like the bouncing stuff and the low power stuff, it still had a place, but it wasn't like meta defining. So it's down here in average now. That is a change that they probably got right, and it didn't look right on paper, right? Because it gained 1 power but loses. It used to be put every card to 4 power, but it's now 3. It lost 1 power on its effect, but gained 1 power on its card. It's just an effect that they got right. Annihilus, I wouldn't even say it's defining in Junk anymore, right? It used to be. This used to be S tier, right? It used to be so good in Junk, but it's just not anymore. It's a solid card, not flexible though. It's like a certain type of deck, and it's not defining enough. I don't think you need it to play Junk stuff. It's a nice card to have in there, but because like Sentry and that got nerfed, and Annihilus got nerfed, it's just not, you know, defining. Anyways, Jesus, this is gonna be a long video. Anti-Venom, pretty garbage card. Just so slow to play. You need to play a Cage with it. Baron, fantastic card for mill, but outside of mill, not flexible. Black Knight, trash. Only really fits in certain decks. Blink, pretty okay card, but not flexible enough, right? You need big stuff. Cool Obsidian almost went in a flexible, but it didn't. It's just, it feels awkward to play. You play in big stuff and Thanos maybe. Corvus Glaive, only really goes in like Hella stuff. You can put it in normal discard, and Hella in normal discard, right? But also you can put it in both and not miss it. Trigger, pretty bad card. Nice in like bounce move. Gilgamesh, strong card in Zoo. Outside of that, it's kind of a garbage. Gore, probably should have went in A, but I'm a Gore hater, so it's gone in B. Hulkling, the worst card in a long time. Just terrible, absolute terrible card. Unfortunately, like, just the random 6 is just so bad. Just like, it was really let down how bad that card is. Makari, solid card, not very flexible though. Amora, same, strong card, not flexible, goes in like certain decks. Miss Marvel fell off the face of the earth, right? No longer, she used to be S tier, but now she's down here B, like barely see her. Red Hulk, could have went in A, but I just don't like it, and I don't see it enough, and I haven't played it. I haven't played it in months, so it's hard for me to put it in A and flexible if I don't play it myself. Scarlet Spider almost went in A, because it's getting some love now with some of the buff cards that came out, but not enough to put up in A, so it's still down in B. Toxin, again, decent card, decent effect, just not flexible, goes and bounce stuff. Werewolf, kind of garbage, which is a shame. War Machine, almost went in deck defining, but I just don't think it's strong, so I had to put it in B. It could have very easily went up in S if you like that type of stuff. In fact, it probably should go in S. Nah, I'm gonna leave it here because I just don't think it's good. It's gone. Decent card and discard, but not really. Bring it, and we already talked about AJ. Okay, that is B done. Okay, now we move on to the A tier. And honestly, some solid cards in here. Some that people might argue should go up or down depending on how you feel about the cards. But let's go. Right, so Agony seems to be a lot flexible right now. She's a decent enough card, flexible. With Penny Parker in here and some other buff stuff, right? She got good. You can Blade and Destroy, right? To buff there. So she got some flexibility and stocks are going up. Gladiator, strong, free, flexible. One of my favorite cards. Grandmaster, very flexible, right? Goes in a lot of cards. You can put in a lot of decks. Hitmonkey should have been down in B and average. I don't know why it's up here. So I'm gonna put this down here. I just changed my mind on it. I think it's kind of average. Iron Lad, again, very flexible. And yeah, not much else to say. Legion is a strong enough card and it's technically flexible. Like, you don't need certain cards to play it. You can put it in here. So this could have went in B as well. This is just like, this kind of went on preference. I think like the effect I like. So it went up here. Nebula, if you need a 1, you can play her. Nimrod almost went in, could have went up or down here. Like, you can play it in Destroy, you can play it in Galactus, you can play it in Phoenix Force, right? 3 different types of decks, and it could fit in each one of them, so it has to go in here. Fastos should have went down here. I don't know, it's just a bad card. Right. Ravonna, strong enough card, kind of flexible, right? Any deck you want to put Iron Man in, you've got Mr. Negative decks, stuff like that, right? It's a very flexible card. It's almost went in defining, but you don't super need it. It used to be really strong, like before I got there. Spider-Ham, just a flexible card again. It's a 1. If you need a 1, you can put it in. Valentina is a card that used to be complete and utter B, like bottom of B, garbage. But honestly, she seems a lot more flexibility, right? You can put her in like Ajax stuff. You can put her in like some Dino stuff, some Arishem stuff, some Loki stuff. Anything like that, right? There's a lot of places you can fit her now. Zabu is a strong card. Almost went in S tier, but it's not like defining, right? It's super, super strong, but it doesn't make or break a deck. It's like you don't build a deck solely around this. You play Zabu to make other cards stronger, because reducing the cost. So it's very close to going S, but not. Goliath, it's kind of the same as Zabu. Very strong deck, super flexible, but it doesn't define the deck. So I had to go in here. Aranya, strong card, kind of flexible. You can play it in bounce, you can play it in move, you could play it in some like Galactus stuff, so it's flexible. Black Swan almost went an S because it is kind of really strong and it can define a deck. Kind of. Well, I wouldn't say it defines a deck. It can just make the deck like from like a B tier to an A tier deck, right? So she almost went up there, but also you can win if you don't draw her, so it's kind of hard to put her in there and you don't need the card exactly. Blob, strong card, can go in a lot of different decks. Arishem, Thanos, big stuff, you know. Strong. Kyra, just, you know, solid enough card, protect stuff. Zoo, High Evo, Thanos stuff, you know, you can go in all these. Cannonball, very flexible, 5-drop, but again, 5's kind of weak, but it's still very flexible. If you need a 5, you can't really go wrong with a Cannonball. You know, you can build so Cannonball breaks stuff, like kills stuff, but also it can just be a solid tech card for 5, right? Kind of very similar to Legion, could have went up, could have went down, right? Cassandra used to be up here, but didn't really define a deck. It used to be like S tier, but now this is a strong, flexible card, same as Copycat, right? You need a free, put either of these two in any deck, and most of the time you'd be happy to play it. Elsa almost went down, but she is super flexible. You can fit her in decks. Most times you don't choose to, so she's probably like the lower end of A. But I felt like her flexibility went up. Fenris, this is probably one that people might want to put down in B, but I honestly love this card. Super flexible, fits into my type of decks. You know, you put it with NTW or Gambit, and you can fit it in quite a lot of decks, so had to go up here. Gwen, again, strong card, buffs, 4-drop. Yeah, can go in a lot of different decks, flexible. Hope, same as Elsa, right? Could have went down, but went here for flexibility. Bob is on the up and up. Not strong enough to go to S right now because it's not a deck defining card, but very strong. Seems to be a lot of people's go-to 1-drop right now. Jeff fell off the face of the earth a little bit in strength, but super flexible. Like, super duper flexible. So I had to go in here. Oh, Kate, again, very flexible card. Strong effects, like getting the 2 random 1-drops that can catch your opponent off with, like, whatever arrow it is, can win your games. Luna Snow, new it card. Honestly, I find it really flexible. To like go to 3-drop for me at the moment, or one of them. So I had to put it in here, but most people probably put it down here. So yeah, Misery could have went down here again, but also kind of flexible. Can go in like mill stuff, can go and destroy stuff, go on reveal. There's plenty of flexibility with Misery, so I had to put it up in A. Malekith, again, a very strong card. Flexible, can go in discard, can go in like Ronin stuff, can just go in stuff where you want to mill your own deck, well, draw your own deck, I guess. So, has lots of flexibility. Mockingbird, again, flexible, can go in like Zoo stuff, can go in Arachim, can go in Thanos, you know, flexible. Nico, a go-to 1-drop, can go in any deck if you need a 1. Nocturne, same, if you need a 3, goes in. Penny Parker, very flexible, can go in most decks. Proxima goes in like full on discard. It can go in mill discard. You can just go in like the Dark Hawk, Moon Knight stuff, right? Very flexible. Red Guardian, if you need a tech card or a 3-drop, pick that. Sage, not as flexible but super strong. Can go in like negative decks or bounce stuff, low power stuff like with Ramona. So she just scraped an A. Shaw, I felt like he was just a little bit better than average, but it wasn't quite deck defining, right? He's a very strong card in surface stuff, but with like the buffs kind of cards, right? He can go in here. Did I put the new cards in here? Oh my god, I forgot the season pass. Okay. Silver Sable, strong, flexible 1. Scar, powerful 6, can go in like Certa stuff, Thanos stuff. Almost went in B. Speed, same, could have went in B, but kind of stood up here. Cause actually, you know what? I am actually gonna take him down there. Scarlet Spider could have went in B, but he seems to. You've got the. Wait, it's not Scarlet Spider. This is Symbiote Spider-Man. Oops, Symbiote Spider-Man. Goes in like Thanos stuff. Can be played a little bit. Not Thanos, Galactus stuff. Could have went in B, but scraped in A. Just by preference. Cersei, again, could have went in B, but preference. And I just think she's flexible. And like, if I need she's probably my go-to 5 most of the time. Like if I'm like, ooh, I want a 5. Cersei and let the RNG gods take over. Fina, very strong 2. US Agent, kind of flexible 2. White Widow, flexible 2. Okay, I'm trying to speed it up. That's it for A, and then we'll get into S in a sec. Okay, lastly, we have the S and the deck defining cards. So let's just get straight into it. Dark Hawk, right? It's a Dark Hawk deck, right? Not much to say, right? Card's been buffed, nerfed, nuked, every card around it's been nerfed over and over again. You know, still strong, top deck. Tribunal, on the weaker side, but you know, it's a Tribunal deck, right? So deck defining. Phoenix Force, the same. Like you build decks around Phoenix Force and you can pop off. Pixie was a one that could easily went down to like a B, but like again, there is Pixie decks, right? You are playing a deck built for Pixie, so you know if that's not deck defining, I don't know what it is. Arashim, don't need to really talk about that, you know, it's on deck. MODOK, I did originally have this in B, right? But what was it? A? Yeah, it was B. But like honestly, it can just like define discard. It can give you that extra power. Could have easily went B, but I decided to put an S. Doctor Doom 2099. This is probably recency bias here because it's a new card, but I do feel like you will be building decks around Doom right now. So it will be a Doom deck, right? The whole point is you're building it for the Doom. So it could have easily went down to B or A, but because it's a new card and it's on my mind that you build decks for this card, it kind of went in here. Galactus, you know, G-Man deck, High Evo decks, right? You gotta need them in the decks. Madam Web is a wild call here, but honestly, he's super strong and kind of like carries and defines like move stuff, right? You kind of need this card to bring it up to its power level, so it kind of had to go in there. Surtur, you play a deck around Surtur. It's kind of a weakish card. I don't really rate it, but the stats say it's still doing well, so I had to go in here. Marble Boy. Honestly, I think this kind of carries Zoo. Like, it's kind of awkward to play Zoo without it. You can, but I just feel like this is what makes Zoo strong. Wiccan, one of the probably the best 4-drops in the game right now. I am actually sick of seeing Wiccan decks, I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, it is strong, deck defining. Like, you know, you put in Quicksilver in a deck to get Wiccan out. Like, if that is not if you're not like, if Wiccan's not defining that deck, an S tier, what is, right? If you're literally putting a crappy little 1-drop in there, right? So obviously Thanos stuff. Scream, like, defines move stuff, right? Proper move where you're moving your opponent's card around. Like, it is the card. It brought that deck back from the dead, right? It made Kingpin playable. Obviously you can skip Kingpin in there, but it made it playable. It made like those like Spider-Mans and Polaris and stuff like that good again, Arrow and stuff like that. So proper deck defining. Loki, honestly, could have went all the way down to B and Kang tier, but like, there is Loki decks, right? Loki does help define some decks. Honestly, it probably should have went down in B tier because I'm trying to think right now how to play a Loki deck and it's just awkward, right? But he can define a deck. You can build a deck for Loki stuff, but it probably should have went down. Anyways, that's enough rambling. Video's gone way long enough, and yeah, so I'll catch you tomorrow for another video.